336 2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network. This is Reputation Rap. I'm Gary Frisch with Swordfish Communications, here again with Mark and Charlene, my co-hosts.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Gary. How
What's
are
up, Gary?
you?
I'm good. Happy National Donut Day today.
Oh,
Happy Donut Day.
Donut Day.
Yeah. One of the major donut places is giving a free donut with a purchase of a drink. And
Oh, that's not really free
that's
then.
like a cop-out because
Yeah.
when it was National Coffee Day, you just walk into any Wawa and get a free coffee.
And
You
isn't
don't
Yeah.
it
pay
Rita?
anything.
Is it Rita's Water Ice? That
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
on
the
First
first
day
day
of
of spring. Free
So
water ice.
I think they're chinsing out a little
Oh,
bit.
that's kind of cheap.
Well, you know what though? National Donut Day, is that really a thing?
Yeah.
No, none of these days are really a thing.
No,
And-
it's a
and
marketing thing.
It's a market. It's a wonderful way if you're in that business to market yourself
I
and
guess.
to have an offer and make people feel good. Most of these national days are created by whatever industry or maybe an individual company.
Right.
Maybe that Dunkin' the provider that starts with Dunkin' actually did declare this day.
Well, does
Right.
that
your
mean
national
all
day.
the other donut makers have to do something?
No,
because
they don't
it's
have to
National
do
Donut Day?
something, but if they're smart, they'll jump on it in their
Right.
own
Yeah.
way, from a marketing
And not
standpoint.
make you buy a drink.
But most of these things are fabricated by the industry or a particular retailer, and there are a few that are actually declared by Congress, believe it or not,
Really?
which actually have a little bit more weight. Yes, there are. For heaven's sake, New Jersey is debating right now what to call the national state sandwich. Pork roll sandwich or
kidding.
Taylor ham sandwich. That's
Oh my
this is
Time
one of
to
the
move
functions
out
of
of New
government
Jersey.
apparently.
I mean, that's so ridiculous. Obviously, it's pork roll. I don't know why. I don't know why it would even be a debate, Gary.
Well, I don't need either, so I couldn't
Well,
agree or disagree.
Well, it is totally. It's funny that you brought this up because I read an article about it. It's all the people in North Jersey.
Yeah, it's
They
not
call
us.
it Taylor
Taylor
ham.
ham.
And all of us down here, we call it pork roll. That's
Just another dividing thing
Yeah.
for the state, like the sports teams.
Right.
Yeah, everything
and,
else.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm Jewish, so I don't think in terms of that as a sandwich at all.
No.
Right.
I've never had one.
Right.
I've never had one,
Yeah.
so I think it's alienating Jews and Muslims.
Yeah, that's not
Probably,
fair.
yeah.
I didn't even think, you know what? Forgive me. I didn't even think about that, but that's not right. We can't have a state sandwich that not everybody in the state can
Right.
eat.
Right. It should be a turkey sub.
Yeah.
Or something,
No,
or,
but then
maybe
what
not a
about the
cheesesteak,
vegans?
because-
You can't.
A little
bit more
generic.
Yeah.
I think it should be a
But
little
this
more.
is how legislators sometimes spin their wheels,
Right.
and sometimes in Congress
the
they spin their
money.
wheels creating a national day. There's actually a directory that a lot of PR people have on their desk. It's called Chase's Directory of Events, or Chase's Events Directory, and it's a thick book that has a listing of every
Yes.
type of day
Weird
throughout the
holiday.
every weird holiday,
Yeah.
every occasion, whether it was declared by Congress
Or
a
not.
state
Not,
legislator or an industry, so you can maybe jump on some of these things. The trouble is, I've heard from more than one media outlet, they pay no attention to these, and they're just not interested in
Right.
getting approached
Right.
with a PR
Right.
pitch that has anything to do with
Hey, it's Hug Your
donuts on
Dog
National
Day.
Donut
Yeah.
Day. Or National Cheeseburger Day,
Yeah.
or National Hot Dog Day, or you've heard them all. I mean,
Yeah.
you wake up and you hear them say it on the morning news or whatever,
Right.
and you're like, there's really a day for onion rings?
Yeah.
For heaven's sake.
Yeah, tequila I think was my favorite. I'm pretty sure that was sponsored by the people from Jose Cuervo.
Oh, I'm sure
They
it was.
created National Tequila Day.
It's
It's
really
like,
National
I-
Tequila Day.
Yeah.
well, I'm sure, right? I mean,
course.
there's a national day for everything, and you know what? You and we're not alone. That we're like annoyed by these things. Like you go onto your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed, and
Oh
that's
my
all you
gosh.
see every day. It's something else. Is there anything to gain from it?
No, there's very little to gain from it except from a consumer standpoint, a free donut or a free
Yeah.
cup of coffee or maybe a free burger. Some places even offer that.
But really, it's not. I mean, even in those situations, you know as well as I know that they're not really free. right?
No.
They're trying to get you in the store
To
so
buy
that you can
something
buy
else.
something
The
else.
smart ones
Right.
among us just go in for free.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But also the businesses, I mean, that costs them money to do that as well. Are they hoping for media pickup or coverage?
No, they're not hoping for media pickup. They're hoping to get customers in
Right.
the door, like Mark said,
Yeah.
to buy
Right.
other things and to look like a good citizen because they're giving away something
Right.
free. Now, from a PR standpoint, if you're in that kind of business and you want to generate legitimate press, ignore National Donut Day.
Mhm.
If you're in the donut business, do something another time of year that is relevant. Find some interesting story angle. And it doesn't. It could be seasonal.
Right.
Like we're getting to wedding season now. Maybe if you're a bakery or a donut shop with
Right.
a mobile truck or whatever, you can talk about a trend. Maybe you've noticed there's a trend. You're being hired quite frequently to park outside of wedding venues. Hired by the host to provide takeaway coffee and donuts to the guests as they're leaving
Right.
the wedding.
Right.
Yeah. Now that's a cool story.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
trend,
Yeah.
but it is a story, and you don't have to wait till National Donut Day
To
to
announce
do it because the media is not going to care on National Donut Day. But if it's something that's legitimate, you can go after the media with that. If you're in the burger business, you own a local franchise, you can get media coverage by coming out with it. Doesn't have don't do it on National Cheeseburger Day, but do a list of the top 10 burger toppings in this area that you service, and pitch that story to the local media.
I think what you're
or
talking
maybe you
about.
notice a certain topping that's taken off lately. Sort of like I'll use as an example avocado. But I think a lot of people now acknowledge avocado as a legitimate hamburger topping. But maybe there's something that you've noticed as a proprietor.
Right.
that
That your
you can-
customers
that-
like.
but
Yeah.
most people haven't latched onto
Right.
yet. That can be
Yeah.
a story.
I think it's the idea of getting creative with what you have, right? I've thought a couple things and what you were just talking about. So that idea of kind of that connection to the wedding thing, right? On the way out of one of my friends' weddings, they made cheesesteaks for everyone. It was in
That's
Philadelphia,
awesome.
right?
That's cool.
Brilliant, and the cheesesteaks were good. So thanks, Dan and Michelle. That was wonderful. But these are things like associations are a good way to promote without being like the National Donut Day guy. You could create different associations with different businesses and kind of use that as a public relations tool, right?
And
Yeah,
grow your
absolutely.
customer base that way too.
Yeah, and it pays to think seasonally. What's going on? We've talked about newsjacking before and
Right.
latching onto a media story. But what's going on, this time of year? Is it,
Proms,
is
barbecues.
it, exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
graduation,
I was going to say
Father's Day.
dads
Yeah,
and grads.
yeah.
Is it the holidays? Is it Halloween time coming up? If you're in the hot dog business, don't do anything on Hot Dog Day, but with July 4th coming up,
Sure.
you put out a news release on top 10 grilling errors when it comes to hot dogs, or 10 or safety tips when it comes
Yeah.
to grilling. If you're Dietz and Watson, for example, here in the Philadelphia region,
Right.
that's a great way to get yourself some press. Or it could be a survey. It could be a customer survey, and you announce the results of those surveys. And again, that doesn't have to be pegged to a certain day, but it's nice if you can tie it with a season.
Seasonally. Yes.
So that's it's just something that you really need to keep in mind as you go about your daily business. What's happening on the account, and you don't want to wait till the last minute either.
Right.
You want to look like a month in advance. Earth Day, for example, if you're waiting till April 15th to get out a press release related to Earth,
Oops.
eco-friendliness or whatever,
No.
you've missed the boat.
Yeah.
So you certainly want to start that process several weeks beforehand.
Well, we got to take a quick break. You want to take us out? You want me to take us out?
You can take us out today.
All right. So
You're so
we got to
good.
take a quick break, and I'm going to take us out. We are going to be right back. Stick around through these commercials. We're talking to Gary Frisch. This is Reputation Rap, and we will be right back here on the Radio Vision Network and Morning Coffee. Stick around.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
When it's time for
We're-
Jersey Mike's to give us
We're
some
back
sizzle.
for Reputation Wrap on Morning Coffee, part of the Radio Vision Network. I'm Gary Frisch with Swordfish Communications, a public relations agency, with Charlene and Mark. We're talking about all things PR and reputation. I want to talk a little bit more about something I've touched on a little bit in the past, which is public relations has the word relations in it. And so it's
For
about
a reason.
relationships, and that could mean relationships with your constituencies, customers, prospective customers, the public at large, whatever it might be. But the definition of public relations is a two-way communications process that's mutually beneficial for both parties. And so I want to bring that up in the context of dealing with the news media. Anybody can do their own PR. I've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hire somebody. I prefer you hire me, but you don't have to hire somebody like
Right.
me or a big agency. But establishing relationships with your local journalists is one of the best things you can do for your business. Now, this advice goes out to smaller companies that aren't already, using agencies. And, national brands have the agencies.
Totally different animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different animal. They're agencies dealing with the media on a large scale. But if you have a smaller business, you want to find out who's covering that business in your area. Who's the most likely to write about that business?
There's a reporter for every type of
There
Just
business
about,
out
yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Just about.
Yeah, you have a
And
early education / daycare center. There's somebody writing about education
Right.
for the local paper.
And,
That-
So
know,
it's a
and
matter
that's
of doing your research, finding
Right.
out who these people are, and then how would you do it? Would you call or?
I would open up a dialogue either with a brief email or even a phone call. I wouldn't take too much time on the phone with a
Right.
reporter, but
Lots
they
of times
do like
it's,
to
they really
they
put
will
most of
take
them.
your phone call from time to time.
Yeah, once in a while.
And sometimes you'd be surprised they're not the Oz behind the curtain. They're a
No.
friendly human being. Introduce yourself. Tell them you're here. What your specialty is, how you can contribute to articles that they might be working on.
Right.
List a couple of points that you can talk about with some expertise, and be sure to let them know that you're here to help them.
Right.
Because no journalist is going to do a story about your business simply because you're asking them to do a story about your business.
Right.
We talked last week about coming up with story ideas. Journalists, part of what they do is they come up with their own story ideas, and when they do, they want to talk with people who can help them complete those stories.
And enhance that story.
And
That's right.
exactly,
Right.
And
Add
make,
to it.
and make it a viable story, and
Right.
give them
Right.
statistics and such.
Right.
And if you can make yourself known to that reporter as a source for those statistics, or a good quote, a nice
Right.
pithy quote, a good
Right.
soundbite
Yes.
or whatever, then you become valuable to that
Quotes
reporter.
Well, what
quotes are
you-
really valuable.
You mentioned something that I think people forget is that reporters are people too. They're human beings just like everyone else, and they almost get put like in this category of the untouchable.
Man behind the curtain.
Yeah, and they're not.
Yeah, and
they're
they're
not
not.
untouchable, and they actually desire to be touched because that's what helps them in their jobs.
Yeah, they like to build their Rolodex. So when they have a need, they may not have
They
time
know
to
they
do the
can get
research,
right
but
to
if they
you.
have your name in their Rolodex, let's say, I'm going to call Charlene, and she's going to be
Be my
helpful
theater
because she's
person.
Right,
told me
because
Yeah.
she's the
before.
expert.
Or because she
Right.
introduced herself to me before,
Right.
and I've got her number here,
Right.
and we had a nice conversation about our kids,
Right.
or landscaping or something.
Right.
And you already have that rapport.
And I want to turn that around just a little bit. If you are a viewer and you are trying to find the right person that might, be interested in writing a story for you. If it's a newspaper or actually a magazine, you can reach out to that features writer or the features editor or the actual editor, and I'm sure they would be happy to put you in touch with the right reporter.
Yeah, and a lot of times the editors deal with outside
Absolutely.
writers
Freelance
who
writers.
don't work
So-
in-house
and-
in the
And
organization.
they're hard to track down.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Go
But
through
they
the
can pass your
publication.
information along, or maybe even give you that person's email address.
Right.
It's also nice if you if you talk to a reporter when you don't have a story.
Yes.
So again, you can introduce yourself, but you in business they say sometimes it takes 7 what they call touches before you get somebody's business, and that's 7 points of contact.
You're right.
If you see an article related to what they cover or something that you thought was interesting, pass that along to them. Say, hey, I thought this might interest you, or I saw this in a newspaper in some other part of the country. Maybe you could take a look at something, similar trend here in our area,
Right.
and not even offering yourself as a source,
No.
just saying, I thought of you for this, or tweet it to them, or retweet them on Twitter. Follow them on Twitter certainly.
Right.
Retweet some of their tweets. So they know that you're paying attention to what they write. See what they write about. That's a great way to see what they write about as well. And here's another thing you can do. You can say, hey, I'm going to be in your neighborhood. Can I stop over? We can get a cup of coffee.
I've done
Right.
that.
I'd like to say, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better.
I've
And-
also, if I've read something that I really enjoyed, I would send a comment over and say, hey, that was a great feature. I really loved what you said about such and such. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Genuinely,
It's
it
being
wasn't,
being a human being,
Right.
right? It's kind of doing the niceties and the nice things, knowing that you have a goal in mind, but not just charging right through,
Right.
right? It's
And-
a little finesse.
Yeah, for example, there's a very prominent travel, troubleshooter out there named Christopher Elliott. He writes for
Yes, I
his
know.
own website and Washington Post.
Yes.
And a lot
Not
of
the
other
actor
sources.
Chris Elliott.
No, this is Christopher
That
Elliott.
guy's great.
I friended him on Facebook a long time ago, and he posts, this fabulous artwork that his teenage son does
Okay.
sometimes, and I comment on that. I like the things he posts on there. I noticed it was his birthday. I wished him a happy birthday.
That's another great.
I sent him an idea that I had regarding a possible travel story, something that I don't think anybody has really looked at. Not involving any of my clients or
No,
me,
just an
something,
idea.
an idea. I thought, hey, maybe it's something that I experienced. In this case, it wasn't. But I thought, hey, have you ever taken a look at this? And he appreciated that.
Yeah.
So when it does come time, when I do have that travel client and I want to pitch a story, I can go to Christopher Elliott and he says, hey, Gary's a nice guy. He's helped me out before
made
with
the
other things.
connection.
We have the connection. It's all about human relationships.
So I'm a business person and I want to do that, but you know what? I understand that I need a professional to take care of it, right? And would you happen to know anyone or a business I could call?
I do have the gift of gab, and I'm good at creating those relationships. And I'm with Swordfish Communications, swordfishcomm.com online. But I think if you want to do this yourself, it's something that you can do yourself. Unless you're completely shy when it comes to dealing with people. I would recommend that if you are dealing with reporters, be mindful of their deadlines. When I call a reporter,
Yes.
the first thing I say is, "How are you today? Do you have a minute?" And they'll say, "No, I'm on deadline." Oh, great, I'll call you back, tomorrow. Or when's a good time to call you back? They are on deadline
Absolutely.
a lot of the time, and you don't want to call a newspaper writer after 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
No.
for example.
No.
You don't want to call a television journalist after
No.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
They're preparing for the evening newscast. So, be mindful of that, be respectful of their time, and they'll respect you for it.
Yes.
If you have any questions, make sure you call him. His name is Gary Frisch. He is from Swordfish Communications. He is your public relations guru. Nice. I like that, Gary. Thanks again. This went so fast because it was so good, and we look forward to it every week. We'll see you again.
See you next week.
Friday.
with a
Next Friday.
Reputation wrap.
That's great. Have a great weekend.
You too.
We got to take another quick break here on Morning Coffee, and we're actually wrapping it up. I got the wrap-up sign.
Is that it? Is this the wrap up?
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. It was a fantastic Friday. Thank you to everyone who came in as our guests. Thank you to Charlene.
Thank you, Tamar.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week here on Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network.